Hi guys, so this video we're going to be looking at So What by Miles Davis. Quite a simple tune to learn harmonically and melodically. There's not too much going on. It's really just basically two chords. So it's it's a good one to kind of like start practicing some ideas on, start practicing improvisation on. So we're going to be looking at a little bit at the kind of typical So What chord voicings, and then we're going to be looking at improvisation, so sort of scale ideas, and I'm also going to be showing you how to do a kind of walking bass line for it for solo piano, and I'll show you another kind of left-hand accompaniment that works well with it too. So let's get into it. So first of all, the bass line. The easiest way to learn this is probably from an actual real book, but I'll just play it through slowly, just so you can kind of pick it up from my playing. So that's the bass line. We're in D Dorian here. If you don't know D Dorian, it's just D to D, all the white keys, which is D Dorian is the second mode of the C major scale. So yeah, we're going to have a look at these kind of classic, well, I think people now tend to call these like So What voicings, because the way they were used on this tune, popularized them. So we're going to have a look at what's actually going on here. These are quartal voicings, and they're based around stacks of perfect fourths. So if we start on an E here, and we go up a perfect fourth, and we go up another perfect fourth, then we go up another perfect fourth, and then lastly we have a major third interval on the top. So it's perfect fourth, perfect fourth, perfect fourth, major third, and that is a quartal voicing of a minor seventh chord. What we're actually doing here is we're actually playing a quartal voicing of an E minor 7, and then moving it down a tone to D minor 7. So it's like a quartal E minor 7, quartal D minor 7. Just, and with this you can just keep like locked hands, just move it all down one white key like that. Like that. So and these quartal voicings are like a really nice modern voicing for minor sevenths. We'll just kind of practice building that off another note now. So let's take F minor 7. So normal F minor 7 like that. So we start with the F, then we go up perfect fourth, a perfect fourth, a perfect fourth, and then lastly a major third. So that there is a quartal voicing of an F minor 7, and it works really well to kind of move up and down in tones. So we can go F minor 7 up to G minor 7, F minor 7, E flat minor 7. We'll actually be using that in this tune in a little bit. So yeah, they're a really nice way to voice a minor 7 chord. So anyway, back to the tune. So so we got that, and after we've done a whole round on D, we're then just transposing everything up to E flat. And so it's also worth learning E flat Dorian, which I'll show you now. So that's E flat Dorian, which is the second mode of D flat major. So yeah, basically the whole riff just gets transposed like note for note up one semitone. So you'd end up with this. So this is what, I showed you a second ago. It's it's this quartal F minor 7, then down a tone to the E flat minor 7. So it's that to that. So we have it on D, we go quartal E minor 7, quartal D minor 7, and then up to E flat, quartal F minor 7, and a quartal E flat minor 7. Okay, so next we're going to look at some ideas for playing this for solo piano and some improvisation. We're going to start with like what scales to use for the improvisation. So basically D Dorian and E flat Dorian work absolutely perfectly with this. Just play a little bit of improvisation using those scales. So D Dorian to start with. And then up to E flat Dorian. Back to D Dorian. So yeah, Dorian works really well for both of them. You can also throw in some blues scale as well. So yeah, D blues scale there. And then you can just sort of combine that. So that's a combination of D Dorian and D blues scale there, and same with E flat blues scale. So then we can combine blues scale and Dorian here too. So just those two scales really. You can have a lot of fun with those. So I'm also going to show you how to construct this kind of walking bass line. Walking bass lines are really great for if you're playing solo piano. So really all I was doing here is we're just walking up the D Dorian scale, but the thing is we need one more note to kind of get back to D, so that D is on the first beat of the next bar. So this is where using like a chromatic passing note can help. So we end up with that, and then we end up on the D on the first beat of the next bar. and then we can just walk down the D Dorian. But again, we need one more note in there so we can chromatically go down to the D like that. So we end up with which is, yeah, a nice simple bass line. After a while that is going to start to sound a bit like a little bit dull, just going up and down straight like that, the same notes, same rhythm like this. So there are a couple of things you can do to kind of spice it up. Like one thing you can do is to change the chromatic note. So so I use a different chromatic note on the way down, for example. So there I was doing chromatically from the 6th down to the 5th. Another thing you can do with bass lines, which sounds good, is to add a sort of like a sort of kick, like this kind of thing. Yeah, it's a nice little embellishment to walking bass lines. And then we the same thing for when we're going up to E flat, walking up E flat Dorian chromatically, and then we could do chromatically down from the 6th to the 5th. So yeah, it's quite a good one to practice walking bass lines on, because we're not like changing chords a lot. So yeah, it gives you a lot of room for a lot of freedom just to move around this scale. And the same with your improvisation, because we're not shifting harmony that much. It's a great one to practice improvising on, because you're not worrying about like, oh god, we're on this chord now, on this chord. You've just got like 16 bars of like D minor 7, so you can really just focus on musical ideas rather than like, oh god, this scale, now this scale, now this scale. So I mean, that's really, like, I think one of the things about modal jazz is, it's really great for just exploring musical ideas just over very simple harmony. So yeah, I mean, like, so we looked at walking bass line. For a bit of variety, I'm going to show you another kind of left hand accompaniment for solo piano that works well with this. So yeah, I'll just play you a little bit. So there I'm just doing bass note D, and then just a 3-note E minor 7 down to D minor 7 like that. So back into the bass line, So yeah, a couple of ideas there, two sort of quite distinctly different left-hand patterns for a bit of variety. I'm going to finish with just a little tip with improvisation, which is to when you're practicing improvising with this, focus on phrases rather than notes. So yeah, improvisation, we don't want to just be kind of mindlessly running up and down scales, and you can create some really great phrases with like 3 notes. It's like so improvisation is as much about improvising, like rhythm and time, and not just choice of notes. So I think one really good improvisation exercise is to limit what notes you play. So start with like 3 notes or 4 notes, and see how many different kind of phrases you can make with just those notes. Because I think with improvising, people often get bogged down with like what notes to play, and especially with jazz, when you're moving through a lot of chord changes, you're often thinking so much about, well, these are the right notes or these are the right notes, that you don't really have any mental space to actually create musical phrases. So I think this tune is a really nice one for that, because you've got space. And yeah, speaking of space, it's also fine to leave space when you're improvising. So the space is part of your improvising. So like, phrase, rest, phrase, rest. And then you can vary it up. So like, start with a very simple phrase and then build on that. So like that kind of thing. So yeah, improvising doesn't have to be playing thousands of notes all the time. It's like enjoy the space, and another thing is don't worry about sounding good when you're improvising. I think people are often kind of, they'll kind of go. They go, oh God, like, it's terrible. It's like, I think playing phrases that, you're not that keen on is part of learning what phrases you like. So just kind of play with a sort of, almost sort of childlike abandon, and you will find things that you like, and the ones that you like will stick in your head, and the ones that you don't like, your brain will just kind of discard those. So don't try too hard to play things that sound good. That will naturally happen just from experimenting. So yeah, treat improvisation with sort of curiosity and like, oh, that's that's interesting, or that's interesting, or like, rather than like oh, that's good, and like, and that's bad. Like, there isn't a right or wrong with improvising. So yeah, just have fun and experiment, and the good stuff will stick. The good stuff will stick. It will. Yeah, so I think that's about it for this video. So I hope it's been of use to someone, and I hope you have fun practicing it. If you've got any questions, feel free to just leave them in the comments, and yeah, please leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy it, and thanks very much for watching.